exclusive new poll from NewsNation and Decision Desk HQ now finds that 80% of voters are concerned about President Biden's age going into 2024. Compare that to Donald Trump, of course, just a few years younger. But the number there you can see is 63% who are concerned about the age of the 45th president. With us now is Scott Tranter. He is the data science director at Decision Desk HQ. Those are some pretty lofty numbers for both of them, Scott.
Yeah, no, that's bipartisan agreement that age is certainly an issue. The funny thing is when we ask about issues, inflation, economy are certainly at the top, but age, as you can see by that, both parties are concerned about their, front-running candidates and what they may mean, getting through the primary, getting through a general.
All right, you mentioned the primary in this NewsNation poll released today. 49% of Democrats say another candidate should run against President Biden, the incumbent, of course. Among Democrats, Scott, as to who should challenge President Biden in the primary, Bernie Sanders at 19%, Gavin Newsom at 19%, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez at 16%, and someone else, give me anyone else, essentially, at 20%. What do you make of it?
Well, I make it is, if this were an open primary on the Democratic side, it would be very interesting. One other stat that's not up there, if we look at the crosstabs, if you're 55 years and older and you want to see another candidate, you want to see 76-year-old Joe Manchin up there, which is interesting. Basically, the Democratic field's wide open. The other thing is Joe Manchin takes away from the Republican nominee, Donald Trump.
I'm glad you mentioned Joe Manchin, because when you look at the crosstabs, that's when there's a poll, there's the headline, and then you can sort of splice it all up and look at the ingredients underneath. There is no bid whatsoever, Scott, for Democrats as it relates to Joe Manchin. I know we talk about maybe a third-party run, but he would, for the question of challenging President Biden, it's at 3%. There is no appetite for him on the Democratic side, right?
Absolutely zero. We look at the crosstabs. If Joe Manchin runs, the only votes he's getting is from the independent and the Republican side, at least according to the poll. Now, he's got to run a campaign. He's got to announce. He's got to do all that, so that can change. But if it were held today, no Republican wants to vote for him. I'm sorry, no Democrat wants to vote for him.
Scott, stay there around the table real quick. 49% of your party, Scott, says they want someone to challenge the incumbent.
Well, that's because they're practicing ageism. That poll doesn't
but
really...
But is it that?
It is that. Because
okay.
if you ask them in a straight-up race, how many of them support Joe Biden, the numbers are in the 80s, I think, or 70s, and then you have two other candidates that are running that are in single digits, and they weren't even on or in the poll named by the voters. Listen, the bottom line is there's only one thing that matters. If Biden is at the top of the ticket, will the Democrats and the majority of the independents vote for him regardless of his age? And the answer is, at least the polling I've seen, says yes. And that's really all that matters. The GOP, if they put Donald Trump up, I know the preliminary numbers that we've seen here say that they're 46-46. I don't necessarily believe that, but it's early on. And there's the open question whether Donald Trump is on the ballot in 2024 and whether he stays on the ballot because of his legal challenges.
I would disagree on the polling with Trump-Biden because Trump...
I'm surprised.
Shocker. Shocker. Because Trump voters are so much more motivated than Biden voters. Biden voters are now, almost 4 years into his first term, they're so demotivated. They're not delivering, especially with black voters and Latino voters. The economy is really hitting the lowest, people of all races the hardest. They're not motivated. So that's why the polling doesn't surprise me at all. And as far as the age,
an abortion ruling that motivates a lot of women who are Democrats and independents. And there's a lot of voters who, when you ask them, what does the GOP have to offer them? Well, they can't come up with it. That's the party of no. They don't have an agenda. For example, the GOP. If you don't like Bidenomics, right? What GOP leader is putting out a game plan to fix this economy that is post-COVID?
Regulation reform,
I'll ask
tax
it this way,
reform. There's lots of things.
Because we did a little bit of this yesterday. I hear what you're saying, and I know a lot of Democrats say the same thing. But then I've not seen a poll where Biden is crushing Trump. I've seen one where Trump is up by a little bit, Biden's up by a little bit, they're tied. If everything you said is right, he should be up by 15 points, and he's not.
In 2016,
Nick,
all these polls were this razor tight too.
You and I both know they only need certain areas in Arizona or certain areas in Michigan. It's very unfortunate, and everyone's vote matters. But the truth is, in terms of the Electoral College and who's going to win, it's actually pretty narrow. And if you look at those groups, I was actually surprised because you add up the approval rating of the job Joe Biden's doing, and actually the Democrats, 85% are saying that he's doing a good job. Some are saying very good job. You've got some independents. It was 39% of independents saying he's doing a good job, and 16% of Republicans saying
39% is not great. That's not good.
No, I'm sorry. If you have just enough, and independents, here's the other thing about independents, Mick. They're not independent, right? They're just either motivated to vote for Democrats or motivated to vote for Republicans. If you've got everyone slamming on Joe Biden every day, the economy at the rate that it is, I actually think it's a pretty decent number going into this.
Okay.
You guys want to talk about Donald Trump real quick?
I've done it before, Blake.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.